Hello Gemini, welcome to your reading. My name is Maria and this is a tarot intuitive story for you if you have any kind of Germany. You might have some Germany, but Gemini in your chart. And actually I would argue even if you don't, if you just feel drawn to this video and it resonates with you, I find that sometimes I'm drawn to videos with star signs that I don't have anything of in particular in my chart, but you know, I felt like clicking on it and it seemed right, and then they turn out to resonate a lot. So that could be the case for you. So let's jump right into it. Pun intended. You're here showing up as the frog. Ready to jump, ready to take a big leap, maybe a leap of faith or a quantum leap, but you're not yet moving, you're not doing the thing completely yet, but I think that you have this feeling of being on the verge of something great. Like you have a feeling that something important is right around the corner, is just about to arrive, like you've been through a period of time that seemed like it was a build-up, and now you're sort of feeling like, oh, it must be arriving. It you know, it feels like you're very close to it. And this is from the Cosmic Creatures deck, and this is from the Zen Tarot, because you're on the verge of a rebirth, and you understand that because you've been very aware of this happening on probably every level of your being. Something has been regenerating and renewing, and you're not exactly sure where you are in the process, because of course this we never know. I guess when we go through healing and change and all these things, we always want it to be fairly quickly over and done with, and it always takes longer than we think it should or would have thought it would. So of course you don't know exactly where you are in this process, but you look like you at least have a feeling like it should be now, like I'm ready to jump so the new can arrive. And this is a big energy in itself, and then 3 other big energies come out from the Muse Tarot: the Six of Inspiration, the Hermit, and the Wheel. So all of this would very clearly also imply that a change is afoot, and it's a change that's gonna bring the best out of you. I really see you as being the light unto yourself and unto others, and you've found something, or you've unearthed some part of yourself that you feel like you can show once the wheel turns and some change starts happening. And so you're actually just sort of asking yourself when that change is gonna come, or asking the universe, and kind of excuse me, ready for that. Certainly you feel spiritually, psychically, somehow you understand that something important is about to happen. But another person or energy shows up in this reading. It comes out with the alligator, and just to me personally, the alligator is a very terrifying animal. It's very cunning, sneaky, like really a predator, and it sort of operates in the water where you can't see it, and it's just a very dangerous trickster energy and a predator. And well, I hate to say it, but it also kind of comes out with a little bit like mother. And if this doesn't apply anywhere in your life, just discard it. I just feel like maybe a few of you might have a very complicated relationship with your mother, and she may or may not have a couple of qualities that are a little difficult. And this alligator comes out with the ordinariness card, telling me that it's kind of quite a pervasive energy. this person, let's say it's a person in your life, could be also, I'm not saying that they're all the way the alligator, it could just be a side of them that they're showing, or a side of them that's showing up in the reading, because that's important now, that they have this sort of a little bit of a difficult energy, and it's kind of a little bit everywhere at the moment. It's following you around, so this could also be something internal. If it's something internal, it could be like a thought form, or an addiction, or an illness. And if you have any of these, you'll already know it. This is not about some illness that you don't know is there. This is about something that you know. And some of this does come out as addiction. You could also have an addiction that's kind of, maybe that's why you've been renewing, because you've maybe been working your way out of some sort of addiction, which can be quite a lot of things. And this one always also came out to me looking a little stoned. So maybe that's a part of this story for some of you. But this partner, or this presence, this person or thing in your life is a very difficult energy, and it comes out with difficult emotions and feelings, 5 of materials and 3 of emotions. So they have you feeling alone, left out, leaves you maybe in despair, confusion, and this may be things that they are feeling that somehow lands on you, or that's the energy they come with, and then you find yourself in this sort of, you maybe be picking up that energy, and then that's sort of how it affects you. It affects you in a way that your energy becomes very scattered, and you get emotionally, you fall into very heavy emotions, and having this maybe a feeling of lack and of not belonging, and it's just very difficult thoughts and feelings that follow this energy or this person around. So that the way that it's affecting you is that it's, at least how you see it, how you first perceive it, is that it's completely slowing you down, because instead of taking your quantum leap, you're all the time drawn back into these difficult emotions, where you're sort of also in a way thrown out of your own light, and then kind of have to work your way all the way back to it every single time. Maybe this is a person or an energy that every time you have a conversation with it or a meeting with it just throws you into darkness, and then you have to do the whole work and have to ask spirit for help, and a whole thing just to find, just to come back into center. So, of course, for you, this is being perceived as quite the slowing down of your energy and progression, because it's kind of hard to get anywhere, because you're all the time finding yourself back in this sticky energy, slow and sticky energy. But it does come out with sort of a silver lining, or a truth that's underlying, which is described like with these 3 energies. So this one first, and then these 2 that mirror each other a little bit. And you come out with the lazy card, laziness card, not as to say that you're lazy. What it means is that, well, not any more than any of us, I would say. I think that we all get sort of lazy if we're not pushed actually by life or by the universe, in some area of our life, if we just let it stagnate and we don't do anything, the universe is going to come in, and it does. And this is actually describing, like here you see like these shards that are kind of moving you, and that's probably what this one comes with some sharp energy. And so you're somewhere, you're being forced to act, or to get out of your chair where you would prefer to not have to do that. You're being kind of all the time pushed, because you have to try to avoid these sharp edges, and it is actually it is actually moving you into development and progression and evolution in some area of your life that you are not really feeling like having to do evolution in. And so it comes out with these two, with the 10 of Inspiration and the Chariot. And it's a funny combination of actually complete burnout and not really actually getting anywhere, and then incredible forward movement. And I think that is in a way what's happening to you. It's a way of describing that something, that you're being sort of pushed to your limit, and you're being pushed to do something that you really don't want to do, that's really stressful for you to deal with, maybe some emotions that you don't want to look at, or just this whole situation with your partner, mother, person, addiction, whatever it is kind of, it's pushing you to your limit, but then somehow that's creating an incredible forward movement. It's creating a lot of it's really evolving you. It's creating a lot of potential ascension inside of you, because you're being pushed to do more than you thought you could. You're being pushed to move in a place or in a way that you would have not done unless the universe came in and kind of like really, or I mean, now I'm saying the universe, but of course it's coming through this energy. So on a deeper level, I mean, it's, if you lift up on a very, very high spiritual level, everything is always there to help us, right? And that's, I feel like that's kind of like what this reading is saying, that this is really, it's pushing you because you would not have pushed yourself in this area. So, and somehow in a deeper or a higher way, this energy knows that you have potential for more, even though you'd rather not have to deal with it. But what this energy or person is really about on a deep, deep level, they may not know it and it may not seem like that at all, is a longing for connection. And it reminded me of Gabor Mate, if you've ever read any of his books or seen any of his speaks or talks. He deals with he studies addiction, and one of his key phrases is that the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's connection. And that kind of came up when I saw these two, that if this is something, and you know, a person can be an addiction too, or they could have an addiction and then you're kind of dealing with it. But the problem here is really a lack of connection. Somewhere connection is missing. It could be a connection with this person. It could be a connection with yourself, with your heart, with the deeper part of yourself. But somewhere that is missing. You know, I got this picture of, if you ever watched panda videos online, you'll know pandas, they really attach themselves to their caretaker a lot, and they'll just sit on their legs and not want to move again. And so it was kind of coming out like somebody who hasn't really created connection, and maybe this person or energy in your life is somebody who doesn't know how to create a connection, and so they come out with a lot of aggression, because that's maybe the only way they know how to create connection. And so you that is pushing you, of course, to your limit. But I think that the universe is trying to say yes, but really it's actually a kind of a backwards way of asking for connection. Could be your child, maybe also. It's just the universe is coming out and really describing it on a deeper level like this, and then is sort of bringing advice. And the advice comes out with the Silence card and the 9 of Voices. So it's really asking you in the situation, if you can, to be peace and to not fight. So if this one is coming in with a lot of difficult, aggressive energy, you're probably, it drags you in, and then you start fighting with it somehow. Like this could also could still be the case if this is an inner energy. You start a fight, and the universe is actually suggesting that you let go of the fight on your end. Just don't engage. Don't engage in the fight. Don't fight. Just be silent. Not like silent treatment. Not in the violent way. Not in the aggressive way or passive aggressive way, but kind of peacefully, if possible. And it also comes out with this card that came in another reading, and it was very much about rest and sleep. And this looks to me like somebody who gets a dream with a solution. So I think that actually maybe you're looking within the situation for a solution to get, so that you can make your jump. But looks like the universe is actually saying, well, the solution comes when you are peace. Maybe you were kind of hoping you would kind of jump into the new, and maybe leaving that thing behind, or leaving those feelings behind, or leaving that particular problem behind. And I feel like the universe is saying, well, yeah, that's not completely how it works. You kind of need to find your peace with it first. And maybe sit in silence. I hate to be saying this to a Gemini. It's just such a bummer of a message, to say to the messenger, to the communicator. But I don't mean, that's not how this comes out to me, like go on a Vipassana retreat and sit in silence 11 hours a day. It's more like just a little bit of silence, like 1 minute here, 1 minute there, 5 times a day, something like that. Because in those little silences, something will arise that I think will help you resolve this situation. And it also comes out as sleep and rest, which then, on the other hand, I would assume is a great message, right? Because I don't think I ever met a Gemini who didn't love to sleep. So, and that's being very encouraged also. And it really looks like that, like resting and being a little bit in silence is going to really open into understanding what the gift of this situation is. There's a gift, and it would like to reveal itself to you, but you kind of have to not be engaged down at the level of the ego or the fighting, if there's fighting, or at the level of these difficult thoughts and feelings. But to kind of go about it maybe a little more theoretically, psychically, just via trust or prayer or something like that. Because there is something that would like to show up and be seen, like some incredible beauty and gold hidden in this situation. And I feel like it really is just waiting for you to be still enough for it to open. And it also came out with the sentence, the answer comes in the night. The answer comes in the night. And I think it's going to show you something very important about this situation, and why it's what the meaningfulness of it is. And once you get that, suddenly you're gonna move with intensity. Like it'll be, I feel like this is you actually, and it's almost like overnight. It's like finding the answer, and then it's just energy, movement. You're off. You know, you're taking the leaf, and you're going directly to your new beginning, to your star, your birth. And so I think that it also it's kind of like a message of I would say like almost like instant healing. It's kind of like miraculous. It's like the build up, the way to it is just painfully slow, and you might be feeling like, I can't, you know, this is just dragging on forever, and it's just getting nowhere. And you might feel like, okay, but how's this gonna pick up speed? But really, it's gonna go like bing, and then you'll be ready to go, and you'll have so much speed and momentum. And we're ending on the page of materials, which is showing me something very beautiful happening in your mind. And I do think it has to do with the silence. You know, it looks to me like the universe is sending you just beauty and love and peace and harmony, and it just looks like you need to clear your head a little bit, so that actually some pretty great things can come in. And no wonder if your head has been very cluttered, because you've had this is a difficult energy. So it's not easy, but on the other hand, it's also not a long process. Like, that's how it comes out. It's quite simple, and it's quite fast. It's not asking you to sit in meditation forever, but it is asking you to recognize also your own need for connection, and to understand that that is an intricate part of this answer that would like to come in. It's the key to that relationship and how that unfolds. And maybe actually it's gonna end up unfolding like this. Once you recognize that really what you're looking for, what you're both looking for, is connection. And it could also be, if this is a person, sitting together in silence, and trying to go about a conversation in that way. And it came out, I took an overall energy at the end, and the renewal card came out. This is a card of Gautam Buddha leaving his home to go on his spiritual quest to find awakening, finds awakening, returns to the palace of his home to find his wife and child, who has grown in the meantime quite a lot. And then them kind of completely in a renewed way moving forward together. So I think that that is actually it means that once you go to do this, have a little bit of silence with yourself, even just maybe just a really good night's sleep, or a dream that speaks to you, you'll be able to come back into the situation like really new and refreshed. And maybe that's something that that's a practice that you should do again and again and again, until it kind of starts to release, because that's really all it takes. And then a lot of beauty is gonna come in, and your new beginning is gonna open up for you. It's gonna make it possible for you to make this jump, because it's not gonna weigh you down anymore. So so this was your reading, Gemini. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it, and thank you for being here. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, comment, and come back again soon. Bye.